Today on Up to Speed with Tripp Simspson, Dame Dash spazzes on the Breakfast Club, Camron boots out Adrien Broner from the It Is What It Is podcast, and more on Charlie Kirk. All that and more on episode number 131 of Up to Speed with Tripp Simspson.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Up to Speed with Tripp Simspson. I am your host, Tripp Simspson, in the building.
And you gonna get off his corners? You gonna leave his people be? Or you the one that's gonna find yourself a new plug?
You don't mean that shit?
The fuck I don't. I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just cause you don't like the way another nigga talk.
All right, and before we get into tonight's live stream, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, you know we gotta handle business. Let's get it.
Family moving up in the business. I know you're gonna look after family.
What family you talking about, Ice?
Fuck, I look invisible, nigga.
That's right, I am not invisible, so do me a favor. If you're watching live on Instagram, hit that like button. If you're watching live on X, hit that like button. If you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell, and select all. Now, we got breaking news. Before we get into our main topics tonight, I want to first talk about Cardi B, okay? I want to talk about Cardi B, all right? Cardi B was on the Gayle King show earlier this morning with a shocking, but not so shocking revelation, all right? She is apparently pregnant with baby number 4 by baby daddy number 2. All right, so without wasting any time, let's get into this first video. All right, give me a second, let me get to that.
I want to start right away with, because the rumors on the streets be talking. Mm-hmm. And so the latest rumor about you is that you are having a baby. Mm-hmm. And I want to know what, if anything, you want to share about that with the class.
Well, yes, I am. I'm having a baby with my boyfriend, Stefan Diggs.
Congratulations. Thank you. How are you feeling about that? And that this will be baby number 4 for you, Cardi. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm actually I'm excited. I'm happy. I feel like I'm in a good space. I feel very strong. I feel very powerful that I'm doing all this work, but I'm doing all this work while I'm creating a baby. Me and my man, we're very supportive of each other. We're like in the same space in our careers, but like in different,
By that, what do you mean by that same space? That you're both doing well? What do you mean?
You know what it is? That I feel like we're really great and one of the best at what we do. And me and him think the same way. Like, it's like, yeah, we're one of the greatest, but what's next? What are we doing again? We do it again. We have to do it again all the time. We're never like comfortable. We just want to keep doing it. And that's just how we both are.
Is the baby, I'm not asking for your due date, but is baby coming this year or next?
It's coming before my tour.
Before your tour? When's your tour?
In February.
Whoa, Cardi.
Yeah.
You're going to go on tour in February?
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm very ready. Even while I'm pregnant, I'm very, very ready.
Tell me about that.
Because I'm getting my body ready. Like I stretch it out. I stretch. So as soon as I give birth.
All right. So there we go. There we have it. All right. Now, the crazy part to me about this whole situation is that she literally just attacked a reporter who asked her about this exact same issue just a few weeks ago. She attacked a man just for asking her if she was pregnant. Let's go to that. So this was a few weeks ago.
Any paternity issue with Stephon Diggs?
Stop disrespecting me. Don't disrespect me.
I got another market card.
Your court look is amazing. Who are you?
Now, check that out. These two interviews just don't match up. The first interview, she's happy. She's having a baby with her boyfriend, Stephon Diggs, even though a while ago there were rumors spreading that they had broken up. Right? And then someone asked her, what's up with you and Stephon Diggs? Are you pregnant or whatever? And she goes crazy. Let's look at that one more time.
Any paternity issue with Stephon Diggs?
Stop disrespecting me. Don't disrespect me.
I got another market card.
Your court look is amazing.
How is that disrespectful? So it's disrespectful to ask you if you're pregnant by Stephon Diggs. I mean, you look pregnant. You're dressing pregnant. You're always with Stephon Diggs, or you were always with him until the rumors of the breakup. So the guy asked her a reasonable question. Are you pregnant by Stephon Diggs? It's not like the man asked her, are you pregnant by Offset or Stephon Diggs? Then I could have seen her get mad. One more time.
Any paternity issue with Stephon Diggs?
Stop disrespecting me. Don't disrespect me.
I got another market card.
Your court look is amazing.
Mind you, she's leaving court for an assault lawsuit. She's being sued for assaulting someone. She leaves the court case and assaults someone else over a question. Right? So it's just, I mean, it's not adding up. It's not adding up at all. But I mean, here we go. All right. I mean, so if she's so happy being Stephon Diggs' second baby mama, then why would she respond like this? I'll tell you why she responded like that. Because there's more to the story. All right. I don't know exactly what that more is, but only time will tell. I mean, I guess. Now, another thing I find really interesting about this story is the amount of black women who are cheering this on like this is some sort of badge of honor for Cardi B. All right, I'm seeing all type of congratulations, and she stepped her game up, and to me, this applaud speaks to a larger problem that we have in the black community, which is the absence of shame. Okay? This woman isn't even fully divorced yet and is already pregnant by the same guy she was sleeping with while she had the last baby in her womb. This is a disgusting and vile woman. And to see black women championing her like she's some type of hero, it speaks volumes. Okay? And then they keep saying, Offset's punching the air right now, as if Offset's jealous. Man, Offset is probably happier than a fly in horse shit right now. Okay? He's banging a way better bitch. His music is better than ever. He ain't paying child support. And she's probably gonna have to pay him at the end of this goddamn divorce. So that's a total W for Offset. Now, in my opinion, the biggest L goes to Stephon Diggs. Okay? The biggest L goes to Stephon Diggs. And why do I say that? Because now he's responsible for this harlot. And also, how can you trust any woman that let you smash while she was pregnant and married to another man? I don't understand how you take that on. I don't understand why you don't just treat her like the jump off that she was and keep it moving. But no, what does he do? He wipes her up, impregnates her. Now he's stuck with this 304. So yeah, that's an all-around L. That is an all-around L for Stephon Diggs and Cardi B, and a W for Offset. Give it up for Offset. Shout out to Offset. All right, so let's move on. I want to move on to this Camron and Adrien Broner situation. Now, bro, real quick, this is one of the prime reasons I do what I do and I say what I say on this show, because I'm sick and tired of the standard for prominent black men to be ignorant ass niggas like Adrien Broner. All right, this man, Adrien Broner, is 36 years old and can't control himself on live television. Granted, we've all been a little too drunk and done a little too much before, okay? Myself included. Definitely myself included. But to act like this for a paid appearance is crazy. All right? So what I want to do real quick, I want to get to that clip. Show you guys what happened just in case you hadn't seen it. And then we'll go from there. So,
you look so good in person.
Thank you.
For
I
real.
appreciate that.
Hey, what you waste that? I love you. I'm sorry. My bad, y'all. My bad.
Arabia, is that a real background?
Hey, Stack, could you stop
Yes.
Can you stop smiling? You.
Arabia is.
Nah, yo, bro, with some G, yo, bro, with some G shit, we gotta.
Oh,
boyfriend here, yo.
all right. Oh, shit.
I told you that.
My bad.
Nah, like it's all like. Okay, we can move on to football then.
Stat. Oh my God.
Just that. Let's do the football. I guess that answered the question about Floyd. When I see you taking off some time,
I'm mesmerized by Stat.
This nigga here, bro.
I did not know you looked that good in person. My bad, bro. You're amazing.
All right, hey, we gonna have to ask you to go, my nigga. I mean, I have to ask you to go, man. I'm gonna pay you for your time, for being here. I appreciate you. But I love you, my nigga.
I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, no. I can't. I asked you the first time. I don't have no problems with you. But I'm gonna pay you for your time. But you can't violate, bro. I told you that.
I'm not, though. I'm not.
Nah, I told you niggas boyfriends in here. You know when my
Oh, shit, my bad, bro. My bad.
Nah. But I appreciate your time.
It's me.
Nah, well, if you want to wait for us outside, you could. But I'm not gonna sit here and not value your time neither.
Yeah. Look at Adrien Broner's face, bro.
Good, but I appreciate it, bro. You gotta step up. Yeah, no problem.
So there we have it. There's AB, Adrien Broner, making a goddamn fool of himself on live TV, trying to flirt with this woman, and her boyfriend is literally standing there in the studio watching him. And he was even warned twice. Okay, he was warned twice about this, and he kept at it. And really, salute to Cam too for trying to give back to a lot of these washed up or ostracized athletes, trying to give these guys a second chance at sports commentary. I mean, I commend him for that. I really do. But this is a prime example of why you can't look out for everybody. All right? There's a reason why Adrien Broner is in the position he's in right now. And no amount of charity is going to help him climb out of it. He's got to want to be better. Okay? Adrien Broner's got to want to be better. To me, it appears as if he doesn't. But once again, salute to Cam. You know what I'm saying? He kept it professional. He still paid that man his money. And he moved on without any further disrespect to his co-host and her boyfriend. All right? And AB, he's going to have to sit with this for a while. He's going to have to sit with this for a while. And look at his face when he realized Cam was really going to kick him out. Look at his face. Let's rewind back to that. Look at this nigga, man. Look at this man. Nigga sobered up real quick, didn't he? He sobered up real quick. All right, and that's the moment he realized he fumbled yet another bag. Fumbled yet another bag. This could have been a little nice situation for him. Come do the show with Cam and Mace once a week, do some sports commentary. But nah. He had to fuck that up. So, anyways, we're going to move on. I want to get into this Dame Dash. This Dame Dash situation. Speaking of fumbling a bag, we're going to get into this Dame Dash Breakfast Club interview. And I got mixed feelings on this interview, right? I got mixed feelings on this interview. I think both Charlamagne and Dame Dash embarrassed themselves here. But I kind of get where each one of these guys was coming from. But all in all, this was a bad look for everyone. All right, so without wasting any more time, we're going to go ahead and roll the videotape. Now, be advised, okay? For copyright reasons, we are not going to show the actual video. I can't. If I show the actual video, they'll cut my stream and get rid of my monetization for this video. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the audio. All right, and then we're going to go through it. It's about 20 minutes. So a bit of a longer video, but we're going to go through it. Actually, and I want to remind you guys that we will be opening up the phone lines later because we're going to talk some Charlie Kirk. I'm going to be debunking the common misconceptions on Charlie Kirk's rhetoric. All right, I'm going to be debunking that. And if you disagree with my debunking of those misconceptions, then you'll have the opportunity to call in and we can discuss it live. All right. Also, want to remind you guys, hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, tap the notification bell, select all. And if you're feeling generous, hit that super chat located at the bottom of the live chat. All right. So anyways, let's get into this Dame video. All right, give me a second, y'all. All right, here we go.
Next question.
I do have a question.
Well, yeah, because why don't you address the things you're asking?
We'll get into that.
Please.
First question I have is we know Dame Dash, businessman, entrepreneur, right?
Chairman.
Worth close to 100 million at one time.
Never.
50 million, it says.
Never.
30 million?
I never had that much money to look at in my life.
They said that the net worth was about 30 to 50 million.
This is the thing. You guys believe the internet. You guys are adults that believe what you read and hear in the newspaper, and y'all talk the most shit. So you guys are talking about things with no research. That's not fair. See, the problem is, and this is actually, I want to keep it on you.
So my question, could you cut me off? Question?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So my question
you
is,
cut him off too, David.
I said sorry.
He did say sorry.
That's called. That's called.
You've been in therapy. You said sorry.
I always say sorry.
You said sorry.
I just don't. You haven't been here.
No, I haven't.
The thing is, he'll be cutting me off, and then I'll get triggered. I watch, and I was like, oh, because he cuts me off. That's what makes me.
So my question, as a businessman, entrepreneur, chairman, right? Boss.
Yeah.
You go from having a huge value to being in the negative. How does that happen from being a boss? Explain it down. Break that down for people that follow you, they aspire to be you.
I'm gonna tell you.
Please.
So the reason why I filed was because I've had $20 million of taxes. First off, do you know anybody that paid $25 million of taxes in your life? Name one person you know.
See, and here we go with Dame, right? This was Dame's problem throughout the entire interview. They asked him a question, and instead of answering the question, he tries to bring you out into the ocean to get you to swim somewhere where you don't want to swim so he can drown you. But I have to give it to them. They're not falling for it. All right? Dame Dash continuously does this throughout the interview. Bro, just answer the question. But instead of answering the question, man, let me ask you a question. Do you know anybody that's ever paid $25 million in taxes? What the hell does that have to do with the question? Like, honestly, I wish Dame Dash would just go and enjoy his life as an old man. Okay? You got successful children. You got beautiful grandchildren. You don't have to try to make this comeback at damn near 60 years old, bro. You had a great run. You had a really great run. It's over. Salvage the little money. I'm not even gonna say little money because he probably got more money than me. But salvage what you have left and make the best of it, bro. We really don't need a Dame Dash comeback. You gave us a great entertainment from the late 90s to the mid 2000s. You gave us Paid in Full. All right? Paid in Full is one of the most legendary black movies of all time. You gave us that. You're known for that. You're in the history books, bro. Just gracefully bow out. Anyways, let's continue.
Yep. Okay, so why would I be the first? Nobody does that. That's what chapter is for. The problem with filing is black people don't file because they don't understand it. And that's why when you guys talk about things, I wish you'd really do your research. ChatGPT does exist. So if you really wanted to know how 50 bought it, ask ChatGPT. How could he have bought it? Who could he have bought it from? Did you hear an announcement in Deadline? Do you even read Deadline?
Yeah.
So then, if it wasn't in Deadline,
Deadline several times.
You interrupted me. If you went to, if you were in if you read Deadline, if you know about Deadline, why wasn't there an announcement in any trade magazine? If there's not an announcement in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, or whatever trade, WWD, you can't believe it.
Why though? Because most of the time
He didn't answer my question. Ask a question. I wanted to know how he got to a particular way you were in the negative.
Right, exactly. DJ Envy, how did you get into the negative? This nigga's talking about 50 Cent. Let's go, man.
The question. I'm gonna tell you. So again, number one, most companies aren't owned like rich people, rich families. They don't put anything in their name. They build their family office. So I filed because again, I've had $20 million, 30.
Now, granted, what he just said right there is actually correct. When you amass a significant fortune, nobody puts 20, 30, 40, $50 million in their checking account. Doesn't work like that. All right, if you put that much money in your checking account, you're going to lose most of your money to taxes and people suing you and all types of other shit. When you're making a significant amount of money, you definitely put your money into various entities like trusts, foundations, and shit like LLCs, shit that won't necessarily trace back to you. Right? Because when you're dealing with that much money, you want to put your money into a separate entity, especially a separate entity that's going to work for itself, like a foundation, right? For instance, you put your money in a foundation and you do all your day-to-day dealings through the foundations. Most of the things you're doing are now tax-free. Now, of course, that's not everything, but this is how the wealthy people get around getting the shit taxed out of them. Look at Bill Gates. Most of Bill Gates' money is in the what? Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Most of Oprah Winfrey's money is in, well, I don't know, I can't remember the name of her foundation, but it's in that foundation. Oprah Winfrey ain't walking around with $6 billion in the bank or whatever they say she got. All right, so remember that. He's not wrong with what he's saying right here.
Of taxes, but they don't bother me because in order to have $30 million means you made a lot. So in order to pay it back, I can't get a job to pay it back. I got to keep investing until I can pay it back. Nothing could be in my name. They put liens on all my accounts years ago. So that's why when they said there's nothing in your account, I don't have an account. How could I open one? They liened it. So I've been building my family office. So you have no assets. I have no assets. but my family. That's all I care about. You know what I'm saying? So I filed because that guy Chris Brown has been suing me, and I was gonna make a bunch of very major family.
Now, granted, he's not talking about Chris Brown, the R&B singer. He's talking about a lawyer named Chris Brown. FYI.
Listen, he's not talking about the artist and the singer Chris Brown.
Right.
People will think that. But
and I didn't mind you interrupting me to do that.
I apologize, but I wanted to clear things up.
I appreciate that. So every time I was launching something with my family office, he sent a letter saying that, I'd owe the money, but it was my family office, but it muddies the waters. So if you have a contract, especially working here, and somebody sent a bum letter, and as soon as it's a lawyer, it shuts down. It muddies the waters. And I was about to make some major announcements. You want to hear one?
Sure.
I'm now the chairman of Revolt right now. And I also, I have 15.
You don't deserve to be the chairman of Revolt.
I got you. So I'm now the chairman of Revolt with a pathway.
Now, I don't like what Charlamagne just did right there, right? Dame Dash is saying he's the chairman of Revolt. Granted, he still hasn't answered DJ Envy's question. But he says he's the chairman of Revolt. And Charlamagne just immediately just does some real, I thought that was real whack of Charlamagne. Like, I thought that was real whack. Let's rewind a little bit.
I have 15.
You don't deserve to be the chairman.
I got you. So I'm now the
Here we go.
Yeah, somebody sent a bum letter. As soon as it's a lawyer, it shuts down. It muddies the waters. And I was about to make some major announcements. You want to hear one?
Sure.
I'm now the chairman of Revolt right now. And I also, I have 15.
You don't deserve to be the chairman of Revolt.
I got you. So I'm now the chairman of Revolt with a pathway. You see, because he wants to trigger me. And I want you to acknowledge that. So I'm now Cam's boss, the chairman of Revolt with a pathway to acquisition. I've been trying to buy Revolt.
How do we know this is not Cap? We didn't see this on Deadline.
Can you stop interrupting me, please? So Deadline didn't make the announcement for this particular situation. They didn't want to. I had an announcement I was going to make with BT, but Paramount stepped in and they said do it later.
All right, I want to do something real quick too, because people are saying that Dame was lying. Let me Google something real quick. Is Dame Dash the chairman? Damn, it's already in the Google search. Hold on. No, Dame Dash is not the chairman of Revolt TV, and the claim was debunked by Revolt's CEO, Detavio Samuels, following Dame's interview on The Breakfast Club. Samuels sent an email to employees confirming the announcement was false and calling a quote attributed to him in another publication completely fabricated. Wow. 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 So this nigga's just lying through his teeth, bro. This is pitiful. This is what I'm saying. This is really pitiful, man. Dame Dash don't gotta do this. Dame Dash, you don't have to do this. When you lost your teeth, you didn't have to do that. You could have just sat for 6 months, sat your ass down for 6 months. Nobody would have known your teeth were missing. But you had to keep doing interview after interview after interview. And that leads people to believe that you're broke, because it's like, damn, you can't even stop talking and stop trying to get attention long enough to get your damn grill fixed. Now you're on The Breakfast Club with the fresh grill. Shout out to Dame, fresh grill. But you on Breakfast Club with the fresh grill, lying through your brand new teeth. And that's why they're gonna fall out again. Man, Dame better stop playing with God like that, man. Nigga got brand new teeth, lying straight through them motherfuckers. That's crazy. That is crazy.
They didn't want to be a part of this mess, but it will be in something. This gets played tomorrow, so the announcement will be in the trades tomorrow. So I've been trying to buy Revolt, and I also just did a 25 episode deal for my podcast for Boston State Losses, and I'm putting all my content on Revolt.
Dope.
Yes, so that I can see how to monetize. I have to put together a certain kind of a plan for acquisition. So in the next 30 days, I'm gonna just be a real chairman and play all these movies, and then I'm going to hopefully I'll stay the chairman, but I gotta go make movies.
Somebody would say how would you buy Revolt?
Why would you say negative? Why would?
Oh, this is sad, man. this is sad. Like, honestly, I had a whole nother viewpoint on this interview, but like, the fact that I just Googled it and this is a straight up lie. He is not the chairman to revolt. This is just gives me a whole nother outlook on this interview. Like, this guy's literally just up on this interview lying for no reason. This is sad. This is why people think that you broke, Dave. Now, granted, the video's got almost 2 billion views on the Breakfast Club YouTube, so it's doing its job. It's creating traction, but like you had to create traction through lies. Wow.
You say congratulations.
You did say congratulations.
Oh, you don't seem excited.
Dope. Congratulations.
You have to understand something.
Wait for it to come out of deadline.
Let me finish.
Really be like, yo, I reposted.
Right.
But somebody would say, well,
now you're going to be Mr. Research, but you asking me why 50 Cent, but you guys got fooled.
But if you're here
Wait, let me finish. Really quick. I'm announcing it the day before it's announced. Remember that.
Right.
So I wasn't going to announce it and then say it here. I wouldn't have to, you know what I mean? So I did it and I timed it where it would come out when this comes out. So tomorrow there'll be an announcement. Also, I'm putting, because I've already made my paid in full. I've made that already. It's already trademarked. You don't have to clear the rights because we lived it. You know what I'm saying? So that movie's going to come out. That TV show's going to, I'm going to start with the docuseries. You want to see the trailer?
Of course.
Because I've already made it. It's done. But just back to what you're saying about money. Do y'all really think anybody, oh shit, I'm a rookie. Do you think anybody actually uses their own money when they acquire something? Do you think that?
Sometimes.
That's ridiculous.
Sometimes people do.
Yo, I feel sorry for you, bro.
No, sometimes people do.
But you taught us that. You said,
No, I didn't.
You said if you
You're
don't put
wrong.
up your own money, if you don't put up your own money, you're not the boss.
Charlamagne the God was absolutely correct. It was Dame Dash, literally himself, a couple of years ago on the Breakfast Club, that stated, if you don't put up your own money, you're not a boss. Now, I don't agree with that. I think you should leverage other people's money and mix in a little bit of your money, depending on what the purchase is. But Dame Dash literally made that statement a few years back. And now he's totally in contradiction of that. Like, I don't know. Maybe this nigga's like showing early signs of being senile. I don't know. I mean, the nigga got diabetes. Maybe his sugar was low or something. But this ain't adding up. Like, to me, this just seems like an unnecessary embarrassment. But whatever. Let's continue.
And that's why I'm trying to tell you, nobody's a boss. I put up my own money. So let me ask you this. I think you guys have to get up. We'll do that again. Let me ask a quick question. If somebody gets a loan for $180 million, are they rich or broke?
No, they're not rich.
So here he goes, asking questions, just like I hate to keep stopping the interview, but I want to just point something out. When somebody does this to you, when you're going in a debate or going back and forth, and they start asking you these wild questions, they're trying to get you to swim off into the deep end with them. Don't do it. Always bring them back to the main point. Because if you go off in the deep end with them, you're going to end up drowning. And it's going to be a waste of a conversation. And you'll never get to the point. Never follow niggas out to the deep end. Pause.
I got that thug in love.
Never follow niggas out to the deep end. Let's go.
Responsible for that loan. It's a loan.
So you don't think, so if the billionaire that you think, every billionaire you know, so if they have a loan for $100 million, a loan, and I have no debt, who got more money?
What happened? Say it again now.
If someone gives someone a loan for $180 million,
yes,
and I have no debt, who's worth more?
The billionaire. He's still a billionaire.
Who has
a loan or not?
You really think so?
A billionaire.
So someone that, okay, let's do it again.
You're trying to
Okay.
say you because you have no debt.
Let me make it a little more simple.
billionaire.
Hold on. Let me make it a little more simple.
Okay.
Do you consider somebody rich if they have a $180 million loan?
Depends on how much money they bring in, how much profit they bring in. If a billionaire has a $180 million loan,
No, yeah.
they're still a billionaire.
Not if they owe. No, they're not. How do you wait? Let me. Have you ever been a billionaire?
I've never.
So
been
how
a
would you know?
Why are you asking people that ain't never been billionaires?
No. I want to know what your perspective.
How does Dame know? He's never been a billionaire. But I really don't understand this. Like it's really tough to see Dame make a fucking fool of himself like this. And then these guys, like, I wish you guys could see the actual video. Like, they are clowning this dude like big time. Nobody can keep a straight face talking to him because you can just sense the bullshit on this man. The fact that he walked in with this suit on, He's just giving like used car salesman vibes. This is really sad to watch.
Perspective was on a loan. Wait. You don't understand the question.
I do understand the question now.
So answer it.
If somebody gave me $180 million loan.
Yeah, you owe them 180. You got to work it. You know, a lot of people look good spending. Wait, stop.
But that's why it's a loan.
A lot of stop. No, you are.
I'm not broke until I can't pay it
So you
back.
never sold drugs, have you?
Yeah, I did.
So when somebody, what?
You never sold drugs, have you? He's way off in the deep end, bro. They're having a conversation about business, loans, and money. And Dame's comeback is, you never sold drugs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I be talking about. Niggas like Dame Dash are the new grandfathers. These are the grandfathers who are supposed to be giving wisdom to your children. Niggas like Dame Dash. This is why I say the black community is cooked. We don't got grandfathers like my grandfathers no more. And rest in peace to Granddad Brooks. Salute to Granddad Jackson, still kicking, 96 years old. But we don't got men like that as grandfathers no more. We got niggas like Dame Dash. You never sold drugs, and I can tell, man. See, that's why you don't come on, bro. Come on.
Quarter spoon, what is that? Nobody says quarter spoon. You didn't sell shit. Stop lying. You talking to ex-drug. You already said quarter spoon.
I sold quarter spoon. I didn't say I was a kingpin.
You weren't a king nothing. You was a pigpen. Let me ask you a question.
It's not an honorable profession.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying the reason why you don't understand something. The minute I give you a loan, you owe me.
Yes.
And the more money I give you, the nicer you have to be to me. You have to do whatever I say. And that's the reason why I decided to use my own money, because they would try to give me money but tell me what to do. I'm going to tell you something in business. Stop talking.
As long as I'm paying the loan back, it's not a problem.
You're triggering me. You're trying to get me out of pocket.
No, but as long as
if you do that, I'm going to take a break and go take a
problem.
joint because I don't want to argue with you. I want to stay respectful.
Okay.
Stop interrupting me.
This guy. I'm gonna give you the same respect you give in the room, but go ahead.
Continue on, Dave.
Thank you. You guys don't know about business, so don't talk so confidently about it because people might.
I'm asking.
You cut me off again.
We're asking you
Oh my
questions,
God.
but you're not answering.
Jessica, they cut me off.
Yeah, they cut you
Can you
off.
talk to me? Tell them stop.
Yo, y'all gotta chill in here because
you right.
They don't say I'm bugging.
Yeah, I know. Chill out, yo.
Jess, you right.
Just stop cutting me
My
off.
bad, Dave. Go ahead.
You don't know about business, and you say things. I said it. You can't say things you don't know and sound confident because people listen to you, and you get in the algorithm. Do your research before you start spreading things.
What did we say wrong?
What did we say wrong?
You said 50 got the rights. You just said it.
No,
I'm
actually,
asking if you got the rights.
and you reposted, and Dan reposted me. Hold on, you actually reposted me.
Please.
And I asked a question. And cut it out, man.
You gotta come back. You gotta come back.
This is an interview. You keep interrupting.
Okay, I have a question.
I didn't finish my thing.
Go ahead.
You see what's going on? Now, if I started yelling, they be saying I'm bugging.
Yeah.
But this is, remember I told you this is how I get triggered. Just let me teach. If you don't know, listen. Listen to the teacher. I'm teaching you right now because this is a business you don't know. You've been in this room for 30 years straight. So you're missing a lot of life.
Not really.
Well, then stop speaking.
You're just wrong.
You have a problem, but you're just wrong. On a respect level, you're wrong.
But go ahead. You're right. Teach.
God.
I don't think you really got a lesson plan.
Let's do this. Every time you interrupt me, because you're so rich, you give me $20. Okay, can you do that? Because you know you got. So let me ask you another question. Do you think it's respectful when someone gives you their boundaries, you just break them and keep laughing? You think that's all right? I'm just asking.
Can I speak?
This is pitiful, man. This is really pitiful. And then the fact that Dame is now listen, I don't like when people who are allegedly entrepreneurs try to shit on people for having jobs, right? I'm in the interesting predicament where I am an entrepreneur and I have a job, right? So I have respect for both lanes. But it'd be so funny to me when I see a broke, quote unquote, entrepreneur trying to put down a nigga with a job that's making more than him. Like, nigga, Dame, you need a job, bro. You need a job. I guarantee you. And I don't even like Charlamagne the God, okay? I don't like Charlamagne the God at all. However, based on the positions that he holds and a lot of the things that he has going on, I can confidently tell you that he probably has more money and a better quality of life than Dame Dash. That's just a fact.
Need an answer. And this is the only time you don't speak is when I ask you questions. Anyway, you guys shouldn't speak so confidently without doing research. This is what you're saying. I don't know. You're asking me. These are things you said. So I'm telling you right now, the reason why I filed was because I didn't want anybody to keep suing me, because he also kept suing me. So now I can't get sued. And if you look at, did you read the bankruptcy?
Yeah, I read it.
Did you read at the end when it says who I'm gonna sue? 'Cause it says who you're gonna sue, and it has a list of people. Did you read that?
She broke it down.
Right. So they can't sue me, but I can sue them now. But what?
My question
You
now.
cut 'em off.
I'd had to because
No,
now we're
she
going to
didn't
move on
do
to another
anything.
subject.
She was fine.
We gonna-
You
okay,
guys
so
are
listen,
disrespectful.
While we're here on the bankruptcy, right? So from what I learned in my research.
So now that I've said I'm on the pathway to acquisition for chairman, y'all still think I'm broke? I don't get it.
Yeah, you can still get a job.
And I just said I had. Okay, here's something else. So I have a deal with Simon Schuster. I'm sorry.
Okay, so on the bankruptcy, what happens if all of the debt isn't discharged? What do you do then?
It's a Chapter 7.
But so for instance, Weber, the attorney,
Yeah.
he filed something this morning saying that what you claim is fraudulent.
Right.
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 And
You know why that? You know why that is?
Well, wait, let me finish talking. And he's asking, and he's bringing the point that everything might not be discharged. So I'm at, like, what happens in that?
It doesn't happen. He's a stupid. Allegedly, he's not the smartest light in the room. You got to think. They've been suing me all over the country. This one person, different people all over the country, for 10 years. They sued me for over $500 million combined, and they only won $800,000 combined. They've been chasing that for 10 years. You know how much legal and law work that person's been doing? How much plotting he's been doing to collect that money, and he never collected? You know how mad he is right now? Now he doesn't get paid. So of course he's going to do that. But again, this is part of business. Just put your seatbelt on and watch how it plays out. But I've never filed before. Nothing. The reason why they think it's fraudulent, this is why I have to tell you this. You see how he's saying it's fraudulent? He'll go into the court and say I'm rich because he's trying to collect money. I've been telling y'all I was broke, right? So that's the reason why. So I don't know what would happen if let's say everything in the judgment doesn't go, nothing's still in my name. There's still nothing to collect. Okay, let me ask you this: do you know how many times Donald Trump filed?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah. So then why?
But he's known as a terrible businessman. But no,
he's the president.
Yeah, but sure, but he still was known as a terrible businessman. Actually, a con man.
Do you know how confidently dumb you sound? You're saying it's bad that he went bankrupt 6 times. He's a billionaire and he's the president,
But
and
he's
you still
known as
not
a terrible businessman and con artist.
Are you known as a good businessman?
I don't know.
Okay, well, you make a lot of money?
No.
So you've been doing this every day your whole life and you're not making no money?
Nope.
And
Like you, Dan.
No, you're not like me.
What you mean? You say you don't have.
Do you have a
say you
family
don't make
office?
lot of money.
I bet my house is bigger than yours. I bet all my houses are bigger than you. I bet I have a better.
How old are you,
Stop.
man?
Now it's how old are you?
This nigga 60 years old, bro. I bet my house is bigger than yours. Bro, this is where we at, dog. This is where we at. We talk a lot of trash about the women on this show, but black men, look, this is where we at. We have to condemn Dame Dash. We can't stand for this. This is an embarrassment. This is almost a 60-year-old black man who at one point probably touched $100-200 million, and look at him now. Is a shell of what he once was. Meanwhile, his partners are flourishing. He's a shell of what he once was, but trying to talk down on everybody else as if he's still where he was. Meanwhile, everybody in the room, with the exception of probably Lauren, probably has a better quality of life to him. Probably. I don't know that for a fact, though.
Embarrassing.
You're embarrassed. Yeah, because I got you. I'd like to see your view. Can you show me your view right now? Do you live in front of water?
View of my house?
Yeah. A view of what you see when you relax, when you're not here every day. See, when you're in it, let me just finish. Let me just see your view. When you just now said, let's just go back to how ridiculous you are. The president filed for bankruptcy 8 times, still a billionaire. He's saying he's a bad businessman. You're just not that smart.
Okay.
And you have to acknowledge that. And you know why? You're not seeing the world. You know what happens when you have to go someplace? You laugh at. You know what happens when you have to go someplace every day at 4 a.m? You can't go nowhere. You got to be here every day. You've been 15 years. You've missed the whole world. You don't know what you're talking about. And you're saying it confidently. And you're in an algorithm where people actually believe you out of response. And why you think they keep you here? They want y'all to make us dumb.
But if you worked here, I
would never work here. I would only.
$20 million in debt.
What you talking about? I'm not in debt. Okay, stop right there. Stop right there. I'm not in debt at all now. What are you talking about?
Oh, you paid it all off?
Yeah. When you have this bankruptcy 7 is like getting hit by the cartel with 100 bricks and they die and you don't owe no more. I want you to ask someone that this is what you should do if you want to do something smart. Get a specialist, a lawyer in bankruptcy, and you ask them these questions. Get a professional up here, and then they'll tell you. Why ask me? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when he tells you you're dumb, you'll believe him. Anyway, the difference between you and I don't think you're a proper representation of the masculine black man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you guys are.
I'm listening.
Okay. Like, your OG is Wendy Williams.
One point to Dame for that one. 1 point to Dame. That was a good one. His OG is with Wendy Williams. That was the first good one. Dame shot all night. Pause.
I got that thug in love.
But he's kind of right. Dame is kind of right in what he's saying. Kind of right. But his real life choices just kind of, I don't know, cancels that out. Like, yeah, he's saying the right thing, but the way he applied it in life just doesn't, appear to be correct.
My OG is sitting right here. You see him? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you why he's my OG. Because he killed anybody or any of those things. He just taught me how to be a better man. Can you stop?
Shout out to Vicky versus Tina on IG. Okay, she says Dame wasn't wrong. Dame is definitely wrong. Now, granted, I don't think that Charlamagne the God is an accurate representation of what black male masculinity should be at all. I used to think that Dame was a decent representation, but as we found out, he's been lying through his brand new teeth this whole interview. He's just been lying. He just said he was the chairman for Revolt. He's not the chairman for Revolt. That we just looked that up. That's a lie. So while Dame does come off as a masculine man, he's not really living his life like a masculine man because he's walking around lying about his accomplishments. And that's not masculine. So if you ask me, both these niggas are a joke. But Charlamagne's getting the one up.
Can you stop?
Wendy Williams is your OG.
Wasn't she your boss?
Yeah, at one point.
So she was your OG. She put you on, and you should give her grace, and you should also give her props out of respect. Because we have different trauma. Like, we're different. Like, I'm not the kind of guy that would, like, I'd rather get my ass whipped than run. But you're proud that you ran.
Yeah.
I'd rather get my ass whipped. Let me ask you a question, Dan. You ever ran from a fight? What would happen if y'all heard that I ran from a fight? That's a masculine way of doing things. Now, you don't see it that way. You like to play games. Like, I'm not quite, because when you say kids, I was like, and it ain't no disrespect, but I kind of think you're gay. You just act a little gay.
You got a problem with gay people?
Not at all. I've got a problem with people that pretend they're not gay. So let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you.
This is hilarious. I love
you're
what
gay.
You're doing. Ain't nobody bending me over.
Oh, so you doing the bending?
Jesus Christ. This conversation is going off the rails, man. He's been getting cooked for so long. He just gave up and said, man, you know what? You're gay. Wow.
So what I'm saying is, you might, because you started in gossip, which is, is very feminine, and you are acting like, there's some degree of like, you want people to listen to you, and that we want people that represent masculinity, because men need to be doing what they need to do as men. They don't need to be worried about girl stuff, period.
What's girl stuff?
Talking about people that aren't in the room, that don't have anything to do with them, saying things confidently in front of millions of people and not saying anything. You know how many times I've seen people punk you? I would never let anybody talk to me a certain way. I'd rather get my ass whipped. That's where we're different. We got different trauma. So you can't really look through my eyes, because you do things different.
You that much?
No, do I look bothered?
Yeah.
I'm bothered.
Actually, you do.
What I'm bothered about is you're speaking in front of people confidently, and you don't have the experience or the knowledge. And also, I'm afraid that white people think that we act like you. You're not dumb, but
I'm afraid that white people think that we act like either one of these jokers.
I, 'cause, I, when you say kids, I was like, and it ain't no disrespect, but I kind of think you're gay. You just act a little gay. You just act a little gay.
I'm afraid that white people think that we act like either one of these jokers. both of you guys are an embarrassment to black men. Both of you guys, especially Dame right now. Dame is a huge embarrassment to black men. But we don't got to go through no more of this, man. There we have it. All in all, like I said, I thought this was just a bad look all around. Charlamagne the God and Dame Dash both had a few valid points, but in the grand scheme of things, you've got yet another example of prominent black men making a fool of themselves as well as the community with this ridiculous display of petty insults, number one. Also, with Dame Dash, just with the, I don't really see how he can come back from this. I really don't see how he could come back from this. Shout out to Maisha Richards on Facebook. She says, are you letting me join? Yeah. I'm going to post the link if you'd like to join the conversation. I'm going to post the link when I finish the Charlie Kirk segment. So you'll have a chance to call in and give your 2 cents if you'd like. For sure. But anyway, yeah, I think that Dame Dash really just made the ultimate fool of himself yesterday with this interview. Like I said, especially with the fact that we found out that he's claiming to be the chairman for Revolt TV, only for the CEO of Revolt TV to come out and say that that's a lie. There is no truth to that statement. So I don't understand why he would go on the Breakfast Club, say these things, and make that the focal point behind his gripe, and it just not be true. Now, granted, Charlamagne was very rude. I mean, I feel like if Charlamagne could have been a decent host and at least let up like 50% on the gaslighting, and Dame could have gotten out of his feelings, it could have actually been a decent interview, and the audience could have learned something, at least about business. But like I said, Charlamagne couldn't stop trolling Dame, and Dame just told a massive lie. He told a massive lie that I don't understand how he's going to come back from this one. So instead of learning something, we got, and granted, this is a 54-year-old man and like a 45, 46-year-old man. These are two seasoned gentlemen. And we learned nothing from anything they had to say to each other. We thought we would get something out of it, but nope. Instead, we got two old men, right? Two men old enough to be grandpas acting like unsupervised 8th graders on a goddamn subway train. But anyways, we're going to move on to the next topic, which is going to be more on the late, great Charlie Kirk. All right? Now, before we get into the common misconceptions about Charlie Kirk, I want to talk about the alleged assassin, Tyler Robinson, and what's really happening with this investigation. Now, Candace Owens and other prominent right-wing pundits are pretty much pointing the blame towards Benjamin Netanyahu and the state of Israel, while the FBI is swearing that the 20-year-old Tyler Robinson acted alone. All right. And in my humble opinion, something definitely isn't right with the current investigation. Okay. Robinson is denying all allegations, even though he turned himself in, through his dad, but he turned himself in. And the FBI claims they have solid evidence, including a picture of a note that he wrote to and text message that he also sent to his current lover, who happens to be another man wearing a goddamn wig. And that's another lie that needs to be debunked. Tyler Robinson is not a far-right extremist. He is a far-left extremist. He is a homosexual young white male. But anyway, what we're going to do is, first, we're going to play what the FBI and Kash Patel were saying on Monday. And then I'll move on to the latest development from last night. All right? So give me a second. Let me get these videos up and we'll get to it. All right. All right, here we go. All right, so here's Kash Patel.
And what written note was there? Did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday. And what did that say? If you could.
So
share
what I'm
that
able
with
to say. I'm sorry. So what I'm able to say is I addressed it partially earlier. Is that the written note we believe what did exist. And we have evidence to show what was in that note, which is, and I'm going to summarize, basically saying, the suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. That note was written before the shooting. Evidence of its existence, we now have learned, existed before the shooting, was in the location in the suspect and partner's home. But we have since learned that the note, even though it has been destroyed, we have found forensic evidence of the note, and we have confirmed what that note says because of our aggressive interview posture at the FBI.
So basically what he's saying is they have a picture of the note. That's what we're going to find out on the next video, right? So let's go to that.
If it's had a serial number, but it wouldn't. The roommate. Police interviewed Robinson's roommate, a biological male who was involved in a romantic relationship with Robinson. The roommate told police that the roommate received messages from Robinson about the shooting, and he did provide those messages to police. On September 10th, 2025, the roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." Police found a photograph of this note. The following text exchange, then took place. After reading the note, the roommate responded, "What? You're joking, right?" Robinson, "I am still okay, my love, but am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you." Roommate, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" Robinson, I am. I'm sorry." Roommate, "I thought they caught the person." Robinson, "No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering." Roommate, "Why?" Robinson, "Why did I do it?" Roommate, "Yeah." Robinson, "I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it." Roommate, "How long have you been planning this?" Robinson, "A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it." Robinson again. I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. IDEK if it's had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The F in messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notice bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke all right.
So let me pause that right there. All right, you guys get the point. They're reading off the messages. And the issue that I'm having here is that this just doesn't sound plausible. Like, if you go and read the text exchange, it number one, it doesn't sound like a 22-year-old American is talking or texting like this, right? Not at all. Not at all. Right? I'm gonna read some of it again. You tell me, what does this sound like? Robinson, drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard. Roommate, you're joking, right? Robinson says, I'm still okay, my love. Shouldn't be long until I come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I die of old age. I'm sorry to involve. This doesn't even sound believable. And then, like, if you look further down into the text, he's referring to his car. He's saying, I need to retrieve my vehicle. I left the rifle in the woods. And then he talks about, he says, I heard they got some old guy, but he had nothing to do with it. Like, it's like this is the perfect piece of evidence that the police could have found. And they release it 2-3 days after they catch the guy. I mean, to me, something isn't right here. Something isn't right. Nobody texts or talks like that. And for this guy to be so calculated and so evasive to the police to plan this whole thing out, you would think that he would know better not to send this via text. Like his text message thread, and you guys can go online and just Google it. Like, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing here because we don't have a whole lot of time, but you can just read it. It does not sound believable at all. Now you got people like Candace Owens and, you know, a couple of other people on the right wing who think that Israel has something to do with it. I wouldn't rule that out either. But I mean, even Candace Owens says that she has receipts about Netanyahu and Israel, and you know, she's claiming she's gonna release that. But then it's like, well, if you got the receipts, why don't you just release it? You know, she's calling out the FBI, she's calling out Israel, and saying that she knows they're covering something up, but yet, and shout out to Nick Fuentes, I was just watching his show last night. He said this. He had this point. He said, but you're friends with JD Vance, and you're friends with Tucker Carlson, who's friends with JD Vance and President Trump, and you're not calling out JD Vance and Trump. It's literally their FBI. They run the FBI. Kash Patel works for Trump and Vance. So why not call them out? Why not put the pressure on them to tell the truth? Like, this is all just really strange. All of this is really strange. So, I mean, it appears as if this guy could be being framed. They could be trying to make him a patsy. I don't know. He could have been working with other people. At this point, I don't know. But I do know that something stinks. All right? Because this evidence just doesn't add up. Okay? The whole entire narrative has too many far-fetched actions, you know, perpetrated by Robinson for this to be fully believable. Like, there are too many things that he just did so ridiculous that I just can't believe that many things happen in a row, and I'm just supposed to believe it's all a coincidence. I mean, the FBI is literally asking us to take multiple leaps of faith to believe this nonsense. So we're not going to come to any conclusions on this show. We know that something stinks, but we'll wait for more evidence to come out. I'm sure it will. Candace Owens says she has more receipts. We'll see whenever she brings that out, and we'll just go from there. All right. But anyways, before we go and before we open up the phone lines, all right, I want to briefly go over the 4 common misconceptions about Charlie Kirk that black folks in the extreme left keep using to either justify his murder or use to antagonize people on the right, or just for people who gave their condolences to a man that was murdered in front of his wife and children, right? We're going to go over the misconceptions as to why people say you shouldn't do any of those things. Shout out to Osama bin Laden on Instagram. He says he's the fall guy for sure. Yeah, I believe that. I definitely believe something along those lines. And I want to be clear too. This has nothing to do with me worshiping Massa, all right, or anything of that nature, like how you Negroes like to say, right? All right, this is just another attempt I'm trying to make to appeal to the reasonable people who may have been fooled into hating a man that actually had some useful advice for the black community. That's the only reason I'm doing this. I'm just tired of seeing black people on the wrong side of the goddamn issues. All right. So, as you know, there are 4 common misconceptions, right? The first one, maybe 5, 4 or 5. The first one is going to be Charlie Kirk said black women don't have the brain processing power to get a job the right way, right? Or something of that nature. But they're saying that he made a comment about black women's brain processing power, right? There's all types of memes with quotes that actually say, Charlie Kirk said black women don't have the brain processing power, which is totally untrue. The man never used the word black women. He in fact talked about 3 specific black women. All right, so let's get into that video first. Let's get to that one first. Where the hell is that? Give me a second. All right, here we go.
Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
And so let me stop right there. He mentioned 4 names: Sheila Jackson Lee, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Joy Reid, and Michelle Obama. These are 4 women who always have something negative to say about people on the right. They're not called racist for having negative opinions about white men. However, because he named these 4 women, he did not say all black women. But because he named these 4 women, they're now morphing that into him saying all black women, which is totally unfair. Like, the standards that we put on these people, if we were to have to go by those same standards, then we'd all be racist. Everybody would be racist. I don't see how him calling out 4 specific individuals who he disagrees with ideologically, I don't see how that makes him a racist. Anyway, let's continue. Let's see if he actually says black women. So far, he's only named 4 people. He hasn't generalized an entire group.
You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say that. We know. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own. I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. You know, this is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are.
Boom. He didn't say this is how arrogant black women are. He made it a point to name each and every woman that he was speaking about. He did not say all black women or black women. He didn't say that at all. He named 4 specific people.
They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive. They think we're like, oh, of course, that's why we need affirmative action, because you have impressed us with your brilliance. Of course. Oh no, imagine the world without Joy Reid. Imagine the world without Sheila Jackson Lee or Michelle Obama or Ketanji Brown Jackson. They think this is persuasive. They think as they kind of now reveal that I'm only here because of anti-white, anti-Asian forced discrimination policies. That turned me into a bitter, resentful activist that hates white people, honestly, through our pop.
So there we go. No mention at all of black women in general. All right, so let's get to the second misconception. All right, this is the funniest one to me. So there's a viral video going around saying that Charlie Kirk called a random Asian man in the audience of a panel that he was at. He called him a chink. Okay, let's get to that one. These are the things people are telling me when I say I don't think Charlie Kirk was a bad guy. These are the things they saying. He said black women don't have brain processing power. He called an Asian man a chink. All right, so let's go to that. Let's go to that. All right, so here we go.
Bigger than that, Charlie.
I live like a
Okay.
Go live like a
The point
socialist.
is larger. The point is larger than that, Charlie.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a
Hey,
capitalist.
hey,
okay?
hey.
I live what I believe. What do? I get charity every single year.
Hold on.
That's my salary. Hold on.
Now, if you don't know who that is a man named Cenk. C-E-N-K. Cenk, I can't even pronounce his last name. It's like Ugarius or something like that. He's the guy from Young Turks, right? I'm gonna pull up his picture. This is him. This is the guy he's talking about. His name is Cenk. Cenk Uygur. I know I'm butchering that last name. That's the guy he's talking about. That's Cenk. That's Cenk. That's who he's talking about. He's talking to Cenk, and they're actually friends, right? But they're saying they clipped this down to a 30-second clip and said that he called a random Asian man a Cenk.
Charlie,
Come on, Cenk, let's go.
Charlie, what are you doing? Take
a seat. Take a seat.
Psycho?
All right, no. Take a seat. You're gonna take a seat. You're gonna take a seat over here.
Oh my God.
What's my salary?
All right.
Ridiculous. All right, behave, everyone. Jesus.
Okay.
And then you can see even on Twitter they corrected it because this reader says, here he is using racial slurs and going crazy, right? That's what this person put. Then you can see the community notes on here. Charlie Kirk did not use a racial slur in this clip. Charlie was shouting the name of Cenk Uygur. a political commentator and co-creator of the Young Turks, also known as the Young Turks. The snippet can be seen at 5416 in the linked source. So you can go to this YouTube video right here, and you can go to the 54-minute video. He didn't call anybody a chink. All right? So that's debunked. All right. The next common misconception is the whole he said black people can't fly a plane or black people shouldn't be pilots, right? That's not what he said, but I'm going to let him explain it in his own words. All right? So let's go to that. Give me a second. All right. Just trying to find the video. Give me 1 second.
And so now we have the challenger, Miss Fawny Willis.
Hold on. Give me a second. God damn. Hold on. One second, y'all.
This debate is so hard.
Retarded ass computer. All right, here we go. Boom.
About DEI, unqualified black pilots. You see a pilot on a black pilot. Don't you think it was irresponsible?
All right, can y'all see that? All right, cool. Y'all can see that. Let's get it. So here he is on the black pilot thing.
About DEI, unqualified black pilots. You see a pilot on a black pilot. Don't you think it was an irresponsible statement suggesting that maybe these pilots aren't qualified or unqualified?
No. But I'll tell you exactly what I said and why I said it.
Okay, go ahead.
I said, the pretext, I went through a whole windup. I said, United Airlines is saying that they want 40% of all their pilots to be people of color or women. We have learned that we have relaxed standards anytime that we try to reach racial quotas. Anytime we reach racial quotas, we relax the standards. Standards for air traffic control, professors, or college admissions. Therefore, when it comes to pilots or surgeons, if I see somebody who is black, as I said on the show, I'm going to hope that person is qualified. That's what I said, which of course is legitimate because they're begging the question, we're not hiring based on merit anymore. We're hiring based on race. So when you see a black pilot, you wonder, boy, is that person there because they earned it or because they were placed there? That's what DEI does. It makes you ask questions you otherwise would not ask.
So the airline industry is going to take an unqualified person just based off diversity.
Underqualified, not underqualified.
Unqualified, underqualified, whatever, uncertified, and put them in a cockpit and risk people's lives?
Those are two different things. Under and un are two different things. Of course, United Airlines will not take someone off the side of the street and put them into a pilot. But in order to reach a 40% goal, they might cut corners. They might accelerate the process in order to reach a goal. We know.
So, I mean, I think that was, he hit the nail right on the head. He's not saying that black people are not qualified to fly planes. He's saying when you have this pressure of trying to meet a quota, right? Anytime, let's look at it like this. Police officers have a ticket quota, right? Every month, some of these state police, they need to get to a certain quota to fulfill their ticket requirements. So it's going to be at a certain point close to the end of the month when they need to reach that quota that they're going to start, example, if it's the first of the month, they may not stop anybody all day for certain infractions. But the closer it gets to the time of that deadline, the threshold is going to widen for what you're going to get pulled over for because you're trying to meet that quota. All right, you're going extra hard to get to that point. So you're either going to relax or you're going to expand certain aspects of around what you're trying to do to get to that goal, if that makes any sense. So if you are United Airlines and you want 40% of your new pilots to be DEI, that means in order to get all these DEI people in, some things are going to get relaxed and some things are going to get overlooked because all you care about is getting to that quota. And all he's saying is, damn, okay, if I see a black pilot or a woman pilot or a transgender pilot, are they just here because you needed to fill a quota, or were they actually the best possible candidate to get this job? That's the point. He wasn't saying black people can't fly planes. He was using that as an example. So he's saying, if I get on a United Airlines flight, now do I have to ask myself, is this guy qualified enough to fly a plane? Was he the best possible candidate? That's the point. But niggas flipped it and turned it into this big old racist thing that it's not. It's actually a very logical question. It is a very logical question. But criticism is racism to black people. So anybody who's not black, even if you are black and you criticize black people, if you criticize black people and you are black, you're considered an Uncle Tom or a house nigga. If you're not black and you criticize black people, you're considered a racist. Meanwhile, while we block out all the criticism, our community is still in a downward spiral. We're still failing. Our schools still suck. Our kids are still killing each other. Home ownership is still at an all-time low. Black-owned businesses at an all-time low. Let's get to the next one. All right. The next one was, they say he was against black people having civil rights. All right. He was against black people having civil rights. Let's get to that one. All right, here we go.
If you had the opportunity, you would get rid of the Civil Rights Act?
No, I think you should have a one-page bill that says that racial discrimination based on race is illegal and will not be tolerated in the United States of America. Most black Americans don't support is men and female sports. Would you agree?
Hell no.
Yeah, I know. No, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the Civil Rights Act is now being used to keep men playing in women's sports. So the Civil Rights Act was used to help black America originally. Totally get that. But now the way it was written is that any claim of identification, so someone says, I'm a woman, therefore I can compete in your volleyball team, they come in with a civil rights claim. And so what we're saying is, no, it should be specified to racial, not gender, all that other stuff. And there were all these other provisions as well.
Now, what is wrong with what he just said? This is shit that all your black influencers like Tariq Nasheed, Yvette Carnell, the Black Authority, all of these people have been saying these things for the past 15 years. They always like to bring up the benign neglect policy. What he is telling you right here is benign neglect, which is basically we're going to water down civil rights so that black people don't actually get shit and we just give it to everybody. That's what he's saying. He's saying they shouldn't have done it like that. He's saying the Civil Rights Act should have been about black people and black people only because black people were the ones in the streets dying, getting bit by dogs in order to get it. Right? Or at least that's the narrative. So if that's the narrative, why isn't it for black people? Let's play that one more time. Just in case you guys didn't get it. Listen to what he's saying.
If you had the opportunity, you would get rid of the Civil Rights Act?
No, I think you should have a one-page bill that says that racial discrimination based on race is illegal and will not be tolerated in the United States of America. Most black Americans don't support is men and female sports. Would you agree?
Hell no.
Yeah, I know. No, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the Civil Rights Act is now being used to keep men playing in women's sports. So the Civil Rights Act was used to help black America originally. Totally get that. But now the way it was written is that any claim of identification, so someone says, I'm a woman, therefore I can compete in your volleyball team, they come in with a civil rights claim. And so what we're saying is, no, it should be specified to racial, not gender, all that other stuff. And there were all these other provisions as well.
If you had the opportunity, you would.
As he said, it should be specified to racial. You shouldn't discriminate people based on race. Boom. All this other stuff, unnecessary. I totally agree with that statement. I don't know how you could be a black person and not agree with what he just said. I don't know how. What's next? He believes people should die for gun rights or something along those lines, right? So let's get into the whole gun rights argument, and then I'll open up the lines. All right. So let's do gun rights. Give me a second. All right, here we go.
Every single year, so that we can. I think it's worth to have a cost. Could not have a utopian one. You will.
My bad. Let me get to the beginning of it. Sorry.
You're having more fathers in the home.
Kirk said, "I'm a big Second Amendment fan."
You're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen. You can significantly reduce them. You're having more fathers in the home. By having more armed guards in front of schools. We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at baseball games? Because we have armed guards outside of baseball games. That's why. How did we stop all the shootings at airports? We have armed guards outside of airports. How do we stop all the shootings at banks? We have armed guards outside of banks. How do we stop all the shootings at gun shows? Notice there's not a lot of mass shootings at gun shows. There's all these guns because everyone's armed.
And I mean, I think he made a perfect point. I mean, listen, he didn't say he wants people to die so he can keep his gun rights. That's the narrative that they're trying to spin around it. Right? He's saying it's important for us, just because people kill each other doesn't mean that nobody should be able to have a gun, because the fact that we have rights to own guns ensures the rest of the rights that we have as Americans. Okay? The first thing that these dictators and these communist countries do when they take over the country is they get rid of the guns. Because when they get rid of the guns, the people can't arm themselves. Then the government can just come around and do whatever the hell they want to do. This shit is literally in the Constitution for that purpose. The forefathers of America put that in the Constitution to keep us from getting our republic robbed blind. Every American has the right to own firearms to protect himself against a tyrannical government or something of that nature. That's in the Constitution. That's the realest shit in the Constitution. That's what keeps this whole thing together. But most of you liberals live in a utopian world where you think no guns means freedom for everybody. No guns means the government is the only one with guns. Which means the government tells you what to do whenever they want. And that, I don't know about you, but that's not the way I want to live. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in the chat. Hold on. Let me put it in the YouTube chat real quick. I'll put the link in the chat. And also, I'm going to head on over to Facebook. Give me a second. Let me go to Facebook. Put this in the Facebook chat. All right, give me a second. I'm about to put this in the Facebook chat. All right, so boom. Call-in link is in the Facebook chat. What we're going to do is we're going to go to a quick commercial break. And if anybody wants to call in with their gripes, or if anybody thinks I'm wrong about what I'm saying about Charlie Kirk or anything we discussed, you'll have the opportunity to call in. All right? All right, so yeah, we'll be right back. Quick commercial break.
Violent crime is surging in Louisiana. Woke leaders blame the police. I blame the criminals. A mom should not have to look over her shoulder when she's pumping gas. I voted against the early release of violent criminals, and I opposed defunding the police. Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. I'm John Kennedy, and I approve this message.
It may be a bad shot, but this is real. I mean, the bones, that's real.
Yeah, my bones, yeah. I'm 5'7" and thin. I can understand what you mean.
But that's not just thin.
No, what is it? Diane, tell me. Do you know?
It's scary thin.
I can believe what you feel. I can believe that. But do you really know? Do you really know?
No, you know.
Thank you.
Anorexia.
No way.
They've written it.
No way.
Bulimia.
No way.
That it's because of drugs.
No. Now, I grant you, I partied. But there have been times when I know I was going through a lot of emotional stress, and my eating habits were awful.
Whitney dying. Crack rehab fails.
First of all, let's get one thing straight. Crack is cheap. I make too much money to ever smoke crack. Let's get that straight, okay? We don't do crack. We don't do that. Crack is whack.
Hey, Cookie, more pecani sauce. This ain't paste pecani sauce.
What's the difference?
Cookie, paste pecani sauce is made in San Antonio with fresh vegetables and spices by people who know what pecani sauce is supposed to taste like.
This stuff's made in New York City?
New York City?
Get a rope.
Pick up the original pecani sauce. Pick up the pace.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better, Mentos fresh. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
All right, we're back. So, between Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X, I must have proven my point to everyone And now you all agree with me that the media narrative surrounding Charlie Kirk being a racist is false. I gave you guys the chance to call in. We've been talking shit all week. People been disagreeing with me. One person even went out of their way to try to insult me, but I pray for that good brother though. We still pray for Brother Tim. We hope he gets over his CTE. We certainly do. But anyways, if we don't have any calls, that's going to be it for me today. Would like for you guys to do me a favor, whether you agree, disagree, or you're indifferent, do me a favor, comment in the comment section below if you're watching the playback. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell, and select all for myself and the rest of the crew here at Trippin' Ain't Easy TV. Peace out. Catch you on the next one.